Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It's Mike with smartoptiontrading.com. It is Friday, the 17th of July. This is our weekly recap. So, quite the week here in the markets. By the way, if you want to know more about me, please visit me at smartoptiontrading.com. Click here to get more information and contact me. So, let's talk about this week. This week that was, and we look at the SPY, it's been a very, very choppy week. Things to do, but very choppy. And if you look pretty much how this market unfolded, we had a big gap up on Monday, sold off, gapped down on Tuesday, came back up, gapped up on Wednesday, was all over the place, tight range candle yesterday. Today, it's just been an absolute mess. But here we are, the SPY is right at the point of the breakout. And if you look what I mean by that, you take out 323.41 and it opens the door for the move to all-time highs at 339 as we go into a couple of the biggest earnings weeks of this quarter that starts next week. We've had some earnings this week and we've had some some stuff going on. So overall, the SPY is holding in really, really well here. When you look at the Qs, right, they have been the weaker link this week. There was profit taking all week long in the Qs. You can see that taking place here. The IWM has tried to lead at times this week, just struggling, but now 3 closes in a row, we think, with 30 minutes to go over the 200-day, maybe starting to wake up the small caps. And the VIX here underneath the 200-day for the first time going into the close. And you can see this has been the trade that it has not want to give back. Every time it's hit the 200-day, it's reversed off of it. So maybe we're finally starting to see a little bit of change in character in this market as we move forward. So if you're saying what was there to do to this week and what was going on, this week was really about focusing on the names that were in play. And if we focus there and you focus where the volume and what was in play, there was a lot to do. So earlier this week, we know there was trades to be had on Square before it sold off and took off. We had mRNA also giving more extension now here. This thing's had a heck of a week going into the NASDAQ on Monday all the way up to 95. And, if you're looking at today, AZN was also in play. Big move there for some people who are playing with that. Also expecting data there on Monday. And Pfizer's another name. These are all same idea, are vaccine plays. And that's been basically helping the IBB and the XBI run harder. Facebook, while a tough trade, has given trades all week, back up here again late this afternoon, pushing for highs. Twitter was also giving trades this week. Bad news with that hack, but came roaring back, goes to earnings next week. And you can see they basically have shrugged that off. Good to see there. VXX, there was a volatility trade we had in there. Boeing's been a mess this week. Couple trades on it. One worked, one didn't, but weak here again. This name can't get going. But if you look at what was in play, it was things to look at, and space was huge. Space gave couple days of trades, 2 days worth of trades. I've been in and out of it. People played this nice big move on space this week, squeezing up into this area. Room to run higher now if this thing wants to, but it probably could use a rest. But broke above this area and really is trying to come on. DraftKings, another name that is starting to wake up here. Broke this descending channel. You had a hammer reversal candle here on Tuesday. Wednesday follow through, played it a bunch yesterday, Thursday, and today it gapped up and basically crapped out, but not falling apart, just resting here after a big move. But you have to respect that came into this 37 area, and that's where it started having problems. APT is another name here that is slowly starting to try to wake up. If it clears this 2170 area, it gets into this very low volume environment. Now, this is a little piggy type guy, but this is a mask play. And as more and more people are going into more and more states and countries are mandating masks all the time now. That's very, very good for them. So we'll see how they do. Bottom line, it was a choppy week, not a lot to do. I had a nice week, not as good as last week, which was an awesome week. Oh, and then there was the banks. JP Morgan had, earnings were okay, gave a little pop. Morgan Stanley's was the best of the banks, if you ask me. Had a little pop here, not particularly acting great, but breaking this range and holding it. Goldman Sachs was also well. And lastly, when you look at things out there, we had Wells Fargo Chase in the banking sector, which was just an unmitigated disaster. And then we had Netflix last night. So here's what the good news I'll give you guys. Netflix was down at under 450 at one point, very briefly in the opening 5 minutes. And you can see up now, it's all the way back up. It went over 500 today and holding in. If this market wanted to dump it, they would have dumped Netflix badly today. They would have kept selling it back down to where it went yesterday. What this tells me is that there is still a strong bid in these names and that they're probably going to come back for them. So that said, big names like Tesla and Microsoft and Twitter and Intel next week, among others, there's going to be a lot to do. Great week. Going home, paid myself, powder dry, ready for next week. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend and catch you guys all bright and early on Monday morning.